Alright everybody, welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. Last time we were here, what did we do last time? We finished at Red Cliff Castle. We did some traveling. We went to Soldiers Pass to find a dude who gave us a command rod for a golem, which we haven't sought out yet. And then along our travels to the Frostback Mountains, we got attacked by Zevran of the Antivan Crows and his goons, which we thwarted very luckily or skillfully, depending on how you look at it. And we didn't kill him. We just knocked him unconscious, and then while he was beaten, we had a talk. We had a little back and forth, and now he's part of the team. He's like, well, I'm dead anyways if I go back to the Crows because I failed to kill you. So why don't I just join you? And we're like, okay, sure. So now we got an assassin on the team, which is, it is what it is. We have a rogue, so unless I never really checked, but if his lock picking's higher than Liliana's, then maybe we'll bring him along, but Liliana's close to getting the 4th lock picking thing anyways. So we kind of have a rogue on the team already. That being said, who knows? He's a dual weapons guy, so maybe dual weapons is better than archery, but the archery still comes in handy too. And then she's switching to dual weapons, and I'm starting to get her some dual weapon upgrades, so maybe we'll just stick with this Liliana rogue right now. Who knows? But for right now, I'm just going to stick with her, I believe. Then we got to the Frostback Mountains after all that traveling interruptions. And we got to the Frostback Mountains, and there was bounty hunters hired by Loghain, or just seeking the bounty on our head for Loghain, which I had a worse time with. So after numerous attempts, we finally beat those guys. And then we seen a bunch of the surface dwarves that are out there that are locked out because there's some troubles in the Dwarven kingdom. They don't technically...
Trust follow, Warden. Your arrival is a mixed blessing. We prefer that outsiders not witness our infighting, but your presence will be tolerated.
Just like that guy said, there's some infighting right now. They don't have a true king right now.
If there is anything complimentary to be said about these people, 'tis that they possess a remarkable facility for carving stone.
Okay, I'm gonna stop because they keep talking. Yeah, so right now, there's no clear king of the dwarves. There's 2 houses fighting, and they voted, but the vote hasn't been successful. And there's kind of 2 houses that are clashing for the right to the throne, which isn't good for us because, hey, we're actually, like, fighting a blight right now. This is not good. It's not good because they're,
beauty daughter. If you work hard like Branka, all Orzammar will know your name.
Mother, I don't want to be like her.
Don't say that! Not to me, not to anyone. Now get back to the forge. I want to see more details.
Paragons. Paragon, Portent.
Right. Show some pity for a poor old man.
Paragon, Beamont. These are like probably these guys as
Spare
like
a few
heroes.
bits for an old man.
Sorry, I don't got no bits.
Let's get started.
They're all the same. Must be okay. So yeah, so now we're heading into Orzammar.
I was not attempting to do anything, and do not speak to me in that tone.
With the Warden.
Ah, did you desire a demonstration?
Do you believe you can control him? Did your magic fail you there?
You have no idea what you speak of, Canary.
Perhaps not, but I know a viper when I see one.
Yeesh.
Let's get started.
So, yeah, so they weren't letting anyone in, but they allowed us Grey Wardens in, and because Loghain seeked an audience with these guys, and Loghain's man was turned away. So that's like you guys for Grey Wardens were allowed in. We got these ancient treaties on our side that they respect.
It is the assembly who makes a king, and a king who nominates his successor. None of it is carried in the blood.
Or, as now, when someone tries using the Assembly to pull a coup. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
I'll have you thrown in prison.
You've bitten off more than you can chew!
Handlers, separate these dashers in the Diamond Quarter. I will not have Balin incite a riot.
You not speak that way about the man who should be king!
Uh-oh. That's not good. What did we stumble upon?
Idiots. I won't have fighting in the Commons, especially in front of outsiders. I find that sodding fool, I'll have him in the Legion. Vieta, Surfacer. I'm bid to let you walk the Commons, but
Vieta.
keep your place. Warden or not, I want order.
Nobody's coming any doors, Marcin. Can't study function like this.
See, that's why I don't want you surfacers seeing our worst. You'll think that's all we are. The market is thin, but busy, and the tavern never closes. Bad blood is usually kept to the proving. Should toss Balin and Harrowmont in there, sort this all out in a hurry.
Blade is coming and any doors, Marcin. Is it proving?
Personal battles for honor and ancestor. I don't expect a surfacer to understand. If you must be our warden, at least know us. Go to the Shaper of Memories in the Shaperate, the true bright spot in the Diamond Quarter.
Blaze coming, any doors, my
Surface
assistance.
problems. Well, we have no king to hear you. You can join the shouting at the Assembly in the Diamond Quarter if you want. Bunch of Desher lords bickering over sand. Balin, Harrowmont. Is one so different? No paragons here.
Sounds like Balin and Harrowmont are the ones to
They've
talk.
caged themselves for fear of each other. As you've seen, keeping order down among us working people is dodgy. No place for a proper lord. Balin speaks through his second, Vartag Gavorn, in the Assembly. Lord Harrowmont speaks through Dulin Ferender from his estate.
You mentioned paragons.
Surfacers appoint no paragons? Truly, you're lost in all that sky. They are the best of us, declared living ancestors. If you must be our warden, at least know us.
Yeah,
Go to the
we'll
Shaper
go.
of Memories in the Shaperate. The true...
I should go
Yes,
going.
you should.
Should get going. Alright. Let's see, what's this? This the way we come? No. Armorer's place. All the heroes.
Big.
Well, that's where we were. All the paragons. Oh, a bunch of weapons. No one to sell them. Legnar.
Topsiders? Good. Get some outside gold in here. Calm people down. Make them think we should open the gates for good. The more cracks in the old way, the better. That's what Balin stands for.
Your allegiance to this Balin is clear. Why?
Not your business, but I see where the gold is. He's the traditional pick, yet he wants a new way, whether some like it or not.
Typical merchant.
I'll take
Thinking
your
with his gold.
You're good for that.
Thinking with his trade. I think I just cleaned out my wares. Sorry, but I don't got nothing to sell to you. Got a bunch of gifts, though. Get the cheap ones. I'll have to come back for that sapphire. What do you want, Brother Burkle?
Maker's blessing on you, brother.
Didn't think dwarves believed in the Maker.
I'm Brother Burkle of the Red Cliff Chantry, returned to my ancestors' land to spread the chant of light.
Even in the very bowels of the earth, we hear no end of this chant.
And that is something to rejoice in, good sister. I'm petitioning to open a chantry in Orzammar.
Don't dwarves worship their ancestors or something?
There is resistance. It's obvious the world wasn't created by the mortal souls who dwelt within it. But Orzammar persists in worshipping its paragons and forefathers instead of the Maker.
Let them worship whatever they like. Bakun is the only way to enlightenment.
If that's truth, then he will come to it in time. The Cocoon is the true path, vice versa chantry, but both tedious. The path is no truer than his, really, yeah. Might make Sten mad, but fuck it.
False philosophies hinder his journey. This chantry encourages faith in an unknown god instead of understanding oneself.
There's nothing wrong with faith. This is my decision to make, valuable to you. There's not. I mean, yeah.
Are you
I'm
saying
really indifferent. Really indifferent. To
the
any
Shaper
of
it controls changes in Orzammar's structure and society. I need the Shaper of Memory's permission to open a prayer meeting.
The Shaper
of Memories controls the Shaper-it, Orzammar's record system. Like the Chantry's historians, but more thorough. They track the births and lineage of every dwarf born in the city, every property sale, death in battle, marriage, or divorce.
Any idea where I can find the Shaper? He's in the Diamond District. I kinda know that. Do you want me to talk to him for you?
I'd hoped you'd say that.
Yeah, I
I
bet
can
you
see
would.
the Maker's
Fucking
hand
rat.
on your shoulder, guiding you always.
If this chantry could help just one person as much as it helped me, it's worth any trouble.
Please, let me know as soon as you've heard anything.
Yeah, I figured Sten disproved, but... What can I do, Sten? I don't really care. It's extra quest to do. Where's this gonna go? Dust Town? This is the
What's happened to that puddle
tavern.
of whatever it is?
Ancestors, guard my son, for he is lost in darkness. Mothers, keep him safe, for you know what it is to mourn.
What happened, Fielda?
I'm
Did I
sorry.
read that
Did
wrong?
you have an offering for the ancestors? Although, I can't imagine your ancestors reside in the stone.
What were you praying for?
My name is Filda, widow
Filda.
of Turok of the
Filda.
Smith caste. I pray here every day for my son, Ruck. I only wish I knew whether I should be asking for his safe return or for the ancestors to accept his soul.
What happened to you,
It
son?
was 5 years
What
ago.
happened to him?
He was only a youngster. He joined a Deep Roads excursion, the only smith to go with the warriors to repair their arms. He was so proud, but he got
Yeesh.
separated somehow.
5 years ago,
When they
I don't
came home,
know.
he wasn't with them.
5 years ago, I don't know.
Captains don't want to lose anyone searching for stray men. Too many were taken by Darkspawn that way.
I'll look for him if you
How?
want.
There is no way except to brave the deep roads yourself.
That's what we do. Pfft, there it is. That's what we do.
Warden. So you could do it. Only wardens face the deep roads without a company packing them. Oh,
I
thank
got
you.
company.
The ancestors finally heed my prayers.
Got like 3 good
Please,
friends
find
right
me
here.
as soon as you return.
3 good companions. Oh, all the side quests. Side questing it up. Loading them up. Packing them in. Solve all the fucking Chantry side quests from Redcliffe. Redcliffe. Go to the tavern. Anything cool in the tavern?
Just do not buy anything, or touch anything, or sit anywhere.
Totem, I don't understand why the provings aren't open to everyone. I mean, it's how the ancestors show their favor. Do they really need our help to decide who's worthy? And then he practically slapped me.
I'll slap you
Lord
too.
Dennick Helmi, honored Desher of the Orzammar Assembly, and terrible disappointment to my esteemed mother, who doesn't like me spending time in taverns. You understand
Well,
what I'm saying, right?
isn't that what dwarves
On
do?
the surface, there are no castes, and it works fine. Am I right, Warden?
You know me, word travels fast, controversial opinion for a dwarf in the assembly. Things are hardly equal on the surface, I mean, yeah.
But there are those like you who see this with concern, no? Well, I've taken the time to actually talk to the other castes. You know, most smiths and tavern keeps would make decent dashers if we gave them a chance and a seat in the assembly. Orzammar are so mired in tradition, no one bothers asking if the castes are even necessary.
So you get a vote on the next king. How does the caste system work anyway?
Badly.
Badly. Good answer.
Serious? Well, it's simple, I guess. The king and elected dashers of the assembly are at the top. Then it's the nobles. Then the warriors and all the craftsmen. At the bottom are servants. The casteless and criminals are below even that. Your caste is determined by that of your same-sex parent. And that's where you stay your whole life, whatever your skill. Me and 79 other fine, upstanding examples of how someone who's born into every privilege inevitably wants more. They're not fond of my views on equality.
Who are you voting
I doubt
for?
either candidate has been outside the Diamond Quarter in his life. But Lord Harrowmont seems a bit more forgiving. Prince Balin's brilliant, I'll give him that, and subtle as sin. But I don't think anything in Orzammar matters more to him than winning.
I should get
As
on.
you wish.
Little insight to Dwarven culture. Nervous adventure.
I can't take it! What? Get away. You'll change like the rest. Monsters hidden in all my friends.
What are you talking about?
They follow you. Once you are in the story, they possess your friends and follow. See? I found copies. All from the same pen and older than the ones in song. Dormant my arse. Take them. I want out. I won't disappear chasing a lie. I won't.
Alrighty then. That guy was, he was a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, if I might say. He's a little not quite right in the head.
Vala, stranger. You must be the Grey Warden we heard about. Welcome to Tapsters. I'm Cora, your hostess. How may I serve you?
I'd like to hear a bit about the
So you come to
city.
Tapsters? I guess you're not asking for anything official, or you'd be at the Shaperate. But I can certainly give you a mole's eye view.
Is there any place I should see while I'm
The nobles
here?
stay upstairs, except when they're slumming. You'll find the assembly there, the palace, the Shaperate, and plenty of estates. Down from here is just Dust Town or the mines, so my recommendation is avoid. It's not part of the city, just some old tunnels where the castless build their nest. No one goes there if they can help it. But if you want fun, your best bet is the Proving.
What's the
It's a chance
proving?
for all the best fighters in Orzammar to test their skills. There's a tournament today. Arenas between here and the Diamond Quarter.
Like
With
a
52
drink.
types of ale, 17 types of mead, and a dozen imported wines, we should be able to serve your needs. What do you have?
I'll have some ale.
I recommend a Brachian brew. She has a heavy head and a deep, rich taste. 3 silvers gives you a pint.
Sold.
A Brachian brew never fails to hit the spot.
Thanks. Thanks, Cora.
I hear you spoke to Lord Harrowmont.
Right.
He's a good man. Puts Orzammar's needs above his own. Well, I have other customers to see too. If you need anything else, just call me over.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Cora. Unless he's speaking a different language, that's complete gibberish. Might be a different language, might be like a dwarvish language.
Looking for a stool to share a brew?
You looking for a fist to share your face? Who are
Name's
you?
Naveen. I fight with Prince Balin's expeditionary field unit. Yourself?
Harry, I'm a
Figured as
Grey
much.
Warden.
Good folks, wardens. I was in the deep roads when that one came by. What was his name? Dukan, Dunka, something like that.
Duncan. You knew Duncan?
I met him, sure. Good man. Solid. He knows what we go through in the deep roads. Not many do.
Not even the ones who live this close. You have to be on the front lines.
Work for
I go where
Balin?
I'm sent, fight when I'm there, and leave politics where it belongs.
Who's your unit fighting?
Darkspawn. Not much use in turning our weapons elsewhere while those vermin still live.
Never been in the
Every
deep
Grey
roads.
Warden ends up there. That's where they send you when you're ready to leave this world. Go die in the dark, putting away as many vermin as you can. Getting more crowded these days, though. Lots of people interested all of a sudden. We go back tomorrow, and we're not the only ones.
Who's sending you out?
Balin ordered us in at first bell. He's splitting us into 4 teams to search for some of the lost Tigers. Looking for
Lost
signs
Tigers.
of Bronca, I guess. Seems to be who everyone's after.
Who else is in the
Lord
deep
Harrowmont's
roads?
got his own men there, all looking for signs of Bronca. Guess the city's getting to miss having a paragon. Everyone wants someone to put in charge.
Who's
Bronca
Blanca?
was a paragon, some kind of great smith or whatnot. But she went batty and let her whole house into the deep roads more than 2 years ago. No chance she could have survived. And a lot of good men are gonna die looking for her corpse. Excuse me. This brew is starting to taste awful bitter.
The guy's not too happy about having to be sent back into the deep roads by the sounds of it. Seems like a lost cause to him. Okay. So that goes down to Dust Town. The armorer's place. Just another shop. Sup, Jannar?
Welcome to Jannar Family Armorers.
Jannar.
I must say, you look like our type of people. Looking for a new set
People
of
with
mail.
coin?
At Jannar's, we have everything from leather to platinum.
You know anything about what's happening with the king?
I stay out of politics. It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses. Lord Harrowmont's a fair man. My father did business with him, and he always paid on time. But the Idukans have served us well. If it is the ancestors' wisdom to keep them on the throne, I cannot object.
Idukans. Part of the Smith case.
I, for 100 generations. My father made his name by inventing a fold and tacit, which were integrated into the cuirass. But, I'm guessing by your face, you're not a smith yourself.
Wasn't the Paragon Bronca Smith?
That she was. The best to walk these tunnels since Carradine himself. Threw it away, chasing old dreams, though.
What do you mean Bronca threw it all
Didn't
away?
last 6 months as a noble before she set into the deep roads looking for ancient secrets. Now she's dead in the tunnels. All that brilliance, wasted.
Who's Carradine?
The best smith who ever lived, bar none. He gave us the secret of forging golems that could walk, talk, and defend our borders. When we had them, no dwarf had to risk himself against the Darkspawn. It was a golden age for the smith caste. His work was lost centuries ago when his tide fell to the Darkspawn. No one even knows where it is anymore.
I have a feeling that's a little foreshadow for what we're gonna have to do in a minute.
Keep in mind, we also take items on trade.
If I ever smelt some foreshadowing, I feel like that's it. Sorry, I don't have the gold nor the need for anything right now. Life in Orzammar, new codex. Getting a bunch of codex, getting a bunch of learning a bunch of lore. Guess what I'm trying to say? Getting a bunch of lore on the dwarves on Orzammar, which I should save because I don't feel like going through it all again. Captain of the Guard. Is this the fucking tournament hall? The proving? There's a tournament today. Go fight in the tournament, prove ourselves. Figures imports. You unlock it? It's just locked. More vendors here. These new food. Food vendors. Nug wrangler.
Excuse me, do you have a moment?
What do you want, Dagna?
You look like you're not from around here.
Yes, you could say that.
Oh, wonderful. I've been trying forever to find someone who really knows the surface world. I don't suppose you've heard of something called the Circle?
Of course, why is a dwarf? Sorry, I can't help you. Circle Magi. Of course, I've heard of the
I've been trying to
Circle.
reach someone there for years. I've sent missives with every caravan, but I never get a reply. I want to know if they would accept me for study.
You want to leave Orzammar?
I want to go to the Circle to study.
I assure you that desire will depart the moment you arrive.
I don't want to do magic. No dwarf can cast spells, but I don't see why I shouldn't study it. It would be a valuable exchange. Orzammar would learn of one of the great natural forces of the surface. And the Circle gains direct access to our knowledge of lyrium smithing.
Stay place. I can bring the Circle your
That would be
request.
wonderful. My name is Dagna, daughter of Janar of the Smithcast. Tell them I've already begun reading the Tevinter Imperium's Ferticum Kadab, and it's just fascinating. Did you know the Imperial Magister Lords once had genealogies of every human family known to produce a mage child?
She's so enthusiastic and adorable. I'm glad we're helping her.
Oh, I'll go pack my bags right now. I'll be waiting by my father's shop.
Okay. I hope it all works out for you. I can only take your message. I can't tell them to accept you.
Greetings, and welcome to Garen Garrison's Luxury Goods Shop.
Garen
There are a
Garrison's.
lot of you, and I've never seen one of those before. The things they come up with. What was I saying?
Are you alright?
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't notice. Most people don't anymore. Or maybe they're too polite to mention it. I had a little incident a few years back. Too much time with the raw lyrium ore, you know. Maybe it was a bad vein. I cut myself and the dust got straight in the blood. Since then, it's been a little hard for me to concentrate. Except when forging, then I'm straight as an arrow. Best work you've ever seen. Look around the shop. See for yourself.
Thanks, when dwarves immune to lyrium's effect?
Of course we are. Weak surfacers like you touch the raw ore, and you'll bleed from your eyeballs and ours. Weird seeing how big you are. Even surface dwarves lose it. Us down here, though, we should be able to handle it just fine. Only not too much, and not every day, and not breathing the dust, and not direct in the blood. Ancestors' own bad luck.
Let me see yours.
Best in the trade, you know. I worked the ore myself.
That's what I'm afraid of. Your little cuckoo. Goddamn. It's a good ring, but yeah. It's expensive for a reason. I is the poor. I need to go make some dollars. Who's this? Diamond Quarter? Nug Wrangler, what you
I
want?
should have stuck to common nugs. I've gone and lost them too. I'll never find them the way they skitter.
Common nugs? I don't like those. They look dirty.
No way I'm going back to that supplier in Dust Town. Guess I'm shutting it down.
These things are dangerous.
You gotta boil them before roasting, but otherwise no, safe as sand. Some people swear they make good pets. May as well leash a turnip, I say.
If I see any nuds, I'll send them your way.
Good on you, stranger. Only need one to turn this around.
A lost nug. Nothing in there. So what was this way then? Anything?
This no doubt leads out to the deep roads, the ancient passages that once led to the other Dwarven kingdoms.
Thanks for the info. It's a nug. Got him. Got the nug. You guys probably aren't letting anyone pass right now. That's probably what you're gonna tell me. Yo, you want this nug?
Go on, I'm out of the nug game. Got nothing to sell.
Got a nug for you here.
Saraka, I'm back in the game, such as it is. I don't have much besides gratitude, but find a bunch more of these and I'll toss you whatever I found.
Alright, should I go to Dust Town or should I go to the Diamond District? Diamond Quarter.
Let's get started.
Always pop a save. Ooh. Such scenery. Such scenery out there. Of lava pools. What do you want?
You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is ailing for want of a king.
I see. What is this place? Doesn't matter, I can't go inside. Orzammar Crier.
News of the hour! Is Lord Balin considering a dissolution of the ancient clans? He refuses to comment in the assembly.
Is this Lord, oh, this is Harriman's estate? Who is you, Lady Dace?
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory. This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
If you say so. I have no idea.
News of the hour. Support Lord Harrowmont at your own peril. Darkspawn will overrun Orzammar within the year if he becomes king. Experts say.
God damn. Got one crier bashing Balin and one crier bashing Harrowmont, and it just seems like, yup, sounds about right. It's confirmation bias if I ever heard of it. Here's the shaper. Feel like we'll go into here first and I'll have a little look-see. Maybe we'll learn more about the situation going on here. Oh, look at that, a bunch of exclamation points. Lovely.
Thief! Who would dare take from the memories?
'Tis I would
I'm
do so.
outraged. A thief in the Shapered. What have we been reduced to?
Is it you? Did you not get a good look at him?
I did. He was bald.
He's bald.
With the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Thief in the House of Learning. Orta. Shaper Cataloger. Orta. Shaper Cataloger. What do you need, Orta?
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
What kind
I was
of
looking for something about
research?
the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads.
I could find them in return for some of that Orton wealth while I am poor. See what they say.
You're from the surface. What do you know about fighting Darkspawn? There aren't even any expeditions planned until they settle this election. Otherwise, you need special permission from the Assembly or some Great Lord.
Well, I'm a Grey Warden.
A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking, it's almost too much to hope.
But what about that Orton wealth, though? No? The offer no longer stands? Is there anything in the books here? Shapered scribe. Scribbling? He's scribbling? Got this guy here, going into the back room. Is there anything to read? Book. Orzammar politics. Great, just what I wanted to brush up on, my Orzammar politics. Shaper's life. Oh, excuse me. I'm getting a bunch of codex though.
As you like.
Nice job, Liliana. You're a little out of my league, but okay. Little out of everyone's league. Nothing left in there. What about here? Oh, another book. Oh, yep, let's run around, yep. Legion of the Dead. This book on the ground, sure. In praise of the humble nug. Okay, let's talk to this Shaprit dude. Books here. Liliana, get out of the way.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories.
Zebor. How do you know who I am? Shaper of Memories?
The Shaperit guards Orzammar's knowledge. We have preserved in Lyrium all of the records of Dwarven history. The memories record all. They are how we know to which family a child owes life, how we trace lost Tigs. They ensure we forget nothing of our past, good or bad.
Let's talk about Orzammar, Lord Shaper.
Ask, and I shall do my best to answer.
What's the difference between an ancestor and a paragon?
All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to paragon. A paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name.
And that's what Bronca was? No?
Bronca is a paragon, now and into death. She was born a smith, but her inventions caught the Assembly's eye. Before she had seen 20 years, she created a smokeless coal. It could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her paragon status.
How did the caste system
According
come
to
be?
our legends, 7 brothers founded our empire. The youngest, Bloodlik, was the wisest and was chosen king. His children formed the noble caste. The eldest, Giachet, trained his sons to defend their king. They became the warrior caste. Shatkyar founded the artisans. Orzatyar forged our first swords. It was Orzammar who dug the mines that became our city's foundations. The twins Koapar and Noct both founded trading houses, but Noct was wounded in battle. On his recovery, he swore to serve his brother's sons.
What about the casteless?
The casteless descend from criminals and those repudiated by their own families, or who chose to go to the surface and live by human laws. They have no ancestors to guide them and no families to claim them. They should not have been born. Their parents defied their shame and brought cursed children into the world. It's better they die young.
Sheesh. Seems easy for you to dismiss them.
Their births are not recorded in the memories. In Orzammar, they do not exist. Is there something more pleasant you wish to discuss?
Tell me more.
We were a great empire
Orzamar's
once,
history.
outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn.
How did you lose your golems?
The Paragon Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth 12 dwarves in battle, but Caridin's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
What are the deep roads?
They were once our highways beneath the mountains. Now the darkspawn claim them and few venture there, except your order, who enter the deep roads when they retire, so they can die slaughtering as many darkspawn as possible.
Where is Kal
At the
Sharok?
other side of the old empire. During the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Sharok is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us.
Well, yeah, I'd be pretty pissed too. Let's talk basic.
I will settle your mind if I can, Warden.
Let's go back to my first
Please,
question.
speak your mind. That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city.
Come on behalf of Brother Burkle, a cleric of Redcliffe. One of Orzammar's own has returned to spread the chant. I ask only because it's the right thing to do.
I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition?
Chantry charities could greatly hate Orzammar. Would you rather wait for human army to convert you, but the chant must be sung from all corners of the world? What harm would it do to let him preach?
Wherever this chantry has spread among humans, it replaced all beliefs preceding it. Were we to let these preachers into Orzammar, how long before the ancestors stop hearing the voices praising them?
I don't think I have the cunning. I might have the intimidate, but I don't really want to intimidate.
So far, the world has done quite well without your maker. I am in no hurry to change that. Now, if there's nothing else. You are an outsider, Warden, but not outside the law. I hope you will not do anything to challenge the stability of Orzammar.
Well, we'll see about that. Is that marker not gonna go away until we fucking come up with a solution? Cunning's 15. Persuade. Damn, I only got persuade 2. Orzammar, look at all these damn missions. Okay. Let's go ahead and skedaddle out of here for now. Let's skedaddle, am I right? So, you know, not the Chamber of Assembly. I think we'll go talk to the two aspiring lords next. Methinks that's probably what our next move will be. However, I think for now we're just going to read some codex and then call her a day. The Nug. Hip deep in mad nugs, our screams deafen their keen ears, we will be nug poop. From songs that only nugs can hear by Paragon Ebrin, 584 Exalted, that's what I'm going with. There's some names there, like when he was discussing the history of Orzammar and all those brothers, and like those names just completely over my head, like goddamn. You had to pick some pretty fucking confusing names, didn't you, you fucking dwarves? Fuck. But alas, the Nug is an omnivore common to the deep roads, a hairless creature that is almost blind as well as completely docile. It spends most of its time wading in shallow pools as well as mud pits, feeding on small insects, worms, and, in a pinch, limestone and simple metals. Indeed, the digestive system of the Nug is legendary, able to make a meal out of almost anything a Nug finds on the cavern floors. Nugs reproduce rapidly, spreading into any niche within the deep roads they can find, and serve to support a variety of predators such as giant spiders and deep stalkers. So too do dwarves make meals out of them. Nugs are, in the poorer slum portions of Orzammar, one of the most common sources of meat available. Some dwarves even domesticate the creatures, claiming to find the creatures' high-pitched squeaks pleasing. Sounds like the dwarven version of a bunny rabbit, if you ask me. Okay, we got a bunch of codex here. Bunch of no codex here. Life in Orzammar. The dwarves of Orzammar are quite unlike those found in most human cities. Although Orzammar derives its vast wealth from trade with human kingdoms, all dwarves who come to the surface to trade are stripped of their position in society. Dwarven merchants are so ubiquitous in human cities that many people labor under the impression that all dwarves are merchants, or that their whole race worships coin and trade. But these surface dwarves are atypical creatures, the ones willing to give up all their ties to their kin and sacrifice their rank in order to conduct business. Below ground, the dwarves are a people obsessed with honor, their own, and that of their family. Most nobles incorporate chainmail even into formal gowns because slights and insults often turn deadly. They are a people who revere excellence and strive to achieve it in all things. Even members of the servant caste, well, I keep saying caste, but they pronounce it caste, so we're just going to say caste, have been elevated to paragons, usually English, am I right? Posthumously, in recognition of remarkable service. I might not have pronounced that right, but we're moving on. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, the travels of a Chantry scholar, Brother Genitivi. Legion of the Dead. Yes, Stone's greetings, friend. You will fight ceaselessly in the Legion of the Dead. Motto of the Legion of the Dead. The Legion accepts all. Oh, it's a long one. Oh, excuse me. So I was told by one of the legionnaires himself, a dwarf who waited quietly at the entrance to the deep roads for the rest of his unit to assemble. They gathered slowly, each equipped with heavy armor and fine weapons, each painted with grim tattoos applied at their funerals the night previous. For that is the nature of the Legion. They are all dead, Any dwarf may join the Legion so long as he is willing to give up everything he has. The funeral rites are somber. A final goodbye is said to family and loved ones. Any material goods are dispersed to heirs, and last words are said. And then it is done. The new legionnaire marches out into the deep roads, never to return. The Legion fights against the Darkspawn to the last, striking one final blow against the monsters that have claimed so much of their homeland. Many join the Legion to clear the slate. Criminals join to avoid punishment. Dishonored join so that their houses and families need not suffer on their behalf. The bankrupted join so their debts might be forgiven. A very few join for a last chance at glory, but the Legion takes them too. This group hopes to reach the fabled fortress of Orzammar, once the Legion's home, associated with the greatest of their paragons. Orzammar is a holy place. It's lost the last great blow against the Dwarven. It's lost the last great blow against the Dwarven kingdoms, and its recapture would be a glorious signal to all of Orzammar. But capture it or no, all of these warriors will die in the deep roads. It is a sobering thought, and I know why the dwarves say the Legion's charge is retry this sentence. It is a sobering thought, and I now know why the dwarves say the Legion's charge is the battlefield's most frightening sight. They have nothing left to lose. From Brother Genetivi again. Brother Genetivi, traveling scholar. Let's learn about everyone before we are. Alright. The Paragons. As I studied among the dwarves, I became aware that their social system was as rigid as the stone that surround them. From the lowest servant to the king of Orzammar, each dwarf has a caste, a rigid social standing, which dictates what he may do and how he may do it. What fascinated me then was that the dwarves, stubborn and proud as they may be, have built in a way for even the lowliest dwarf to bypass the caste system, and reach prominence. Any dwarf who has made an achievement of significance can be named Paragon, elevating that dwarf above all others. To become a Paragon, it is to be recognized as, essentially, a living ancestor. Your words are considered ineffable, and the dwarves liken you unto a god. Your family, those you choose to ascend with you, become the founders of a new line of nobility. Indeed, every existing noble house among the dwarfs traces its line back to a founding paragon. It is a rare thing, however. In my visit, I learned that only one paragon has been elected in generations. The smith Bronca, exalted for her discovery of smokeless coal. That's a pretty good invention. I met the paragon Bronca only once during my stay, and I consider it an odd occasion indeed. Surrounded by those of her house, this ill-tempered woman was draped in the finest cloth and jewelry, and was obviously revered even above the highest nobles, perhaps above even the king, yet she seemed to enjoy none of it. The burden of being a living legend is great, it appears. Statues of the paragons are found throughout Orzammar, though nowhere so prominently than in the Hall of Heroes through which one passes on entering from the surface. It is a breathtaking sight to behold. Great works of stone all seem to hold up the ceiling above. It is meant to impress upon visitors to Orzammar of all who have gone before, I think. It is also meant to remind dwarves going to the surface and thus abandoning their brethren forever of all they are leaving behind. Another Brother Genetivi special. Orzammar politics. As dangerous as it is to mistake a dwarf's caste, it is far more deadly to mistake his alliances among the noble houses of Orzammar. Everyone in the city is allied with someone, whether by blood or by word. The nobles do not engage directly in commerce themselves, as that is the domain of the merchant caste, but they do serve as patrons. They invest in shops or in artisans' work, and in turn reap a share of the profits as well as a measure of the credit. Merchants and warriors alike benefit from the service of a prestigious patron. The relative power of each house is ever-changing. It is usually safe to assume that whichever noble house holds the throne is at the top of the heap, but below that, things grow into a tangled mess. Houses ally with one another by marriage. They earn rank and prestige when combatants loyal to them. They earn rank and prestige when combatants loyal to them, or from their own bloodlines. Okay, it's just seems strange to me, but they're getting to the point. Or from their own bloodlines win provings. They earn it when artisans they patronize become sought after or well regarded, or when the merchants they invest in become successful. The degrees of power that these achievements confer is so murky, even to the dwarves, that it isn't unusual for nobles to challenge each other to provings over whose smith forges better belt buckles or whose servants have the best manners. God damn it. Some of these sentences, man, I don't know. It just seems like it's worded weird. Nor is it out of the ordinary to find two merchants arguing over whose noble patron has won the most acclaim, for the rank of the patron is the rank of the client. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the assembly, where the deshers, representatives of each noble house, meet. Although the king technically rules Orzammar, kings are elected by the assembly, and so each king must work constantly to maintain the support of the deshers. Kings who prove unpopular find their heirs deemed Jeez, it's not even been a long day, but it seems like it. Kings who prove unpopular find their heirs deemed unacceptable to inherit the throne. Power then passes to another house. Maybe I should just talk like this instead. What we got here? Balin Adukin. This is a time for action, not cultured debate. Third of King Endrin's children, Balin has always been considered the last and least of his family. Not the heir, nor the favorite, and not as accomplished as either sibling, Balin's most notable trait was his ability to stay out of trouble. And Lord Pyrrol Harrowmont. No one is born with rights to the throne. The sitting king may recommend a successor, but the assembly ultimately decides who will rule. House Harrowmont is one of the oldest noble houses, as old as Orzammar itself. Endrin's most trusted advisor, Harrowmont is well known for being an able administrator and the author of many compromises in the ever-warring assembly. What else we got? In praise of the humble Nug. I once served a human some Nug, and he proclaimed that it was like eating an unholy union of pork and hare. The idea disturbed him so much that he declined to finish his serving, and made himself content with some stale bread. Of course, this only goes to show that surfacers, human or otherwise, have tragically unrefined palates. The Nug is surely the most delicious animal I have ever tasted. Only a dead man would not salivate at the thought of tender morsel of roast Nug melting in his mouth. The Paragon Varen, although his house has fallen, shall always be remembered for discovering the wonders of Nug flesh. Admittedly, it was discovered only out of desperation, when he was separated from his legion and lost in the deep roads for a week, but we won't hold that against the good Paragon. While Nug pancakes and nuggets, my own children love these, are the Nug dishes one encounters most often, Nug can be prepared in other interesting and elegant ways. The late King Ansgar Adukin adored Nug, seared on a hot metal plate and finished in the oven, and dressed in a cream sauce flavored with deep mushrooms. You must be careful when using the mushrooms from the deep roads, because they often grow close to darkspawn bodies. They say that this is what gives them their unique flavor and intoxicating scent. But it also means that consuming too many of them may result in curious afflictions in the mind. From In Praise of the Humble Nug by Bregan Tolban, honored chef of House Hadouken. Quest related. The Shaper's Life. The blessing of the Shaperate is given only to those who walk with the stone. It is a path that cuts deep and the road is far from secure. But those who desire to work in memory must first honor it. Document the stone, protect her, and present a new history of the memories. Only then will the blessing of the Shaperate be upon you. From the Shaper's Life. Unbound. 3 weathered parchments with 3 versions of the same incomplete story. Excerpt. And when his kingdom fell, so disappeared the stolen riches of an age. The beast, the unbound, dormant until one of true spirit claims his throne. So must hunt the hero of his people, the principled who would search for an ancient evil. This is how they can make a real difference. Scribbled in the corner in a shaky hand. 3 pages, 3 ages, same story, updated. Same as the tavern song, but older. Signature torn on purpose, but compare and get Vilm Madden. All from him. How? Seems like there's a mystery there. Seems like that's probably why it's in the quest-related section. Well, alright everybody, no, not too much action today, but we learned a lot, so hopefully there will be more action next time. I would like to thank you so much for tuning in today. Excuse me. If you want to help out the channel, you can like, subscribe, comment, any of those things, all of those things if you wish to do so. And until the next video, see ya.